Jessica Pegula responds when asked if Elena Rybakina can beat Aryna Sabalenka in the Australian Open final. The Australian Open women's singles final is now set, with Elena Rybakina taking on Aryna Sabalenka after knocking out Jessica Pegula. Pegula has fallen short of Grand Slam success once again after her 6-3, 7-6, 9-7 loss to Rybakina at Rod Laver Arena earlier in the day. The same stadium at Melbourne Park played host to Sabalenka's semifinal win over Elena Svitolina. The WTA #1, who has now reached 4 successive Australian Open finals, defeated Svitolina 6-2, 6-3. Sabalenka and Rybakina now turn their focus to a blockbuster reunion on the court, having recently met in the final of the 2025 WTA Finals. Jessica Pegula claims Elena Rybakina is one of the best players in the world. Rybakina won that match in Riyadh in November, with Pegula now sharing her take on the Kazakhstan star and if she thinks her current level is good enough to challenge Sabalenka. "Yeah, she's always just tough," Pegula explained after their semifinal. "You know, she's so chill. She doesn't really give you anything, and I think that's hard sometimes. You're not really sure if she's upset or if she's excited or what it is. I think in today's game that goes a long way. You don't really have a lot of energy to play off of. So I think that's always kind of her #1 thing. You know, obviously her serve. I don't think she served her best tonight, to be honest. I think her first serve percentage was a little down. But at the same time, it's so tough with her because you just know that she can throw in a couple of aces at any time. She threw in a couple of big serves at the end in that tiebreak. How she always kind of keeps you guessing with a serve, I think, is definitely one of her strengths. You know, not just that, but she's a good returner. She was returning really well tonight and kept breaking me even when I felt like I hit some good serves. I think the combination of those two things makes her frustrating to play against because she puts pressure on the return. But then she also, you're like, gosh, now I have to break her if I get broken. And that's really hard to do. I think you're always kind of on edge with her with that. Because even when you break her, it's not like she's a terrible returner and you're going to win free games and are like, oh, I got the set. It's like, oh, no, she usually plays a better return game right afterwards. And you are like, gosh, now I have to go back and try and break her again, which is impossible. I think that's her best attributes as a player, the fact that she stays calm. I think her serve and return, she just puts so much pressure on you. I mean, we've already seen her beat Aryna before somewhat recently. And I think she's one of the best players in the world when she's healthy and confident, and right now it seems like she is. Yeah, it will be an interesting final. Elena Rybakina can punish Aryna Sabalenka with her serve. Intriguingly, Sabalenka and Rybakina have already met in an Australian Open final, with the pair going head-to-head in 2023. And despite losing the first set, the Belarusian ace lifted the trophy in Melbourne with a 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 victory. But Rybakina is arguably a completely different player now compared to then, and can really threaten Sabalenka in one key area. The Kazakhstan superstar has now hit 41 aces at this year's Australian Open, more than any other WTA player. Her ability in that area really could make all the difference in the final, especially because Sabalenka is not among the best returners in women's tennis. 2025 return games 1%, 2025 return points 1%, Aryna Sabalenka 39.4%, 45.6%, IGA Swiatek 44.4%, 47.5%, Coco Gauff 46.3%, 48.8%. The world #1 is also a lethal server, but ranked below fellow top 3 players IGA Swiatek and Coco Gauff on the receiving end last season. As per the WTA stats, Sabalenka finished 2025 with lower return games 1 and return points 1 percentages than 2 of her main rivals. It will, however, be a much more positive story for the Belarusian if Rybakina does not get her first serve right, with Sabalenka certain to be successful with her aggressive approach if her opponent is often forced to fall upon second serves.